Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA with a slight delay due to the weather. I'm Naja'atu Tijani, wishing you Ramadan Mubarak. President Muhammadu Buhari sends greetings and best wishes to Muslims as they commence 30 days of Ramadan fast, urging that they use the season to project the finest virtues of Islam by personal conduct. In a goodwill message via the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari says it is an occasion for deep reflection and greater fear of Allah and avoidance of all evil. Hello again. Just before the loss in transmission, we were talking about Ramadan. We do apologize for that loss in transmission, but our excellent engineers have sorted the technical hitch out. It was due to weather constraints. Meanwhile, just before that break, we presented a goodwill message from President Buhari on the occasion of Ramadan, and similarly, Muslims have been reminded of the need to rededicate themselves to the worship of Allah and service to humanity as they observe the holy month of Ramadan. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria gave the reminder while speaking on the place and importance of fasting during the month. Thomas Ogbetere reports.
One of the characteristics of the month of Ramadan is its ability to enhance the relationship between Muslims, God, and their loved ones through the various activities slated for faithfuls during the 30 days fast. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, while stressing the need for Muslims to rededicate and worship the Creator in all honesty, enjoins Muslims to observe the fast according to the tenet of Islam as stipulated in the Holy Quran.
That the month of Ramadan is the month of blessings, is the month of compassion, is the month of consideration, is the month of supplication. It's a month where if you ask human beings, if you ask too much, human beings will be fed up with you. That why are you asking me? Why don't you go elsewhere to go and beg? But Allah welcomes you. And in this particular month of Ramadan, it's a month, it's like giving you open check.
Now, in Ramadan, we are encouraged to do more. That the little you have, try to share it with your relatives, share it with your neighbors, share it with everyone around you that needs your support. So if we exhibit these practices in the month of Ramadan for 30 days, it is expected that after Ramadan, the rest of our life is going to be as beautiful as we lived in the month of Ramadan.
Muslims were also reminded of the importance of the first and the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, adding that to maximize the benefits of the season, Muslims need to be more charitable, be thankful to God always, forgive those who have wronged them, and desist from acts capable of tarnishing their image. In Abuja, Thomas Ugbetere, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the holy month of Ramadan, in observance of 29 or 30 days fast as an important pillar of the Islamic faith, is spiritually greeted with ecstasy as enjoined by the practice of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Religious correspondent Abdullahi Ajia takes us through some of the salient requirements expected of adherents.
In the consensus and explanations of Islamic scholars, the glorious Quran and Hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, are sufficient on the obligation of the holy month of Ramadan, which they say entails the deliberate abstinence from sexual desires, eating and drinking from dawn to sunset, with the intention to worship Allah, who has promised a special reward for those who fervently fast in the first, second, and last 10 days of the month. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, with a spiritual package and a turning point for mankind, who is expected to maximize the enormous bounties, mercy, and favors of Allah.
And it helps those are in addiction to overcome addiction. Those are in drugs, those are taking smoking. All this one, Ramadan can help. It helps to sharpen somebody's character by being patient. It has also benefit of making somebody to be organized.
Leaders of faith say the holy month of Ramadan also guarantees spiritual elevation in status and an ideal social security of love, true brotherhood, and unity of purpose, which reflects the true teachings of the Islamic religion, with much encouragement for charity and increased acts of worship. Nigerian Muslims will be observing this year's Ramadan with high expectations for improved social, economic, and security well-being. However, clerics say this Ramadan should provide an opportunity for intense prayer for country and individual leaders. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
And still talking about the holy month of Ramadan, I have with me in the studio Dr. Maisuna Yahya, founder of Al Mustafiya Society of Nigeria. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all.
Now, the fast has begun in earnest, with today being the first day. So what is expected of the faithful during this holy month?
In the first place, to the faithful ones, we are expected to go back to Allah in totality, with very, very serious submissiveness to Him, handing all over our matters to Him, and all these can be summed up in 5 different captions. Number 1, spiritual; 2, moral; 3, political; social, and economic. So making the 5. But most importantly, spiritually, this is just the best time when Muslim faithfuls will have to go back to Allah and tell Him, here we come again, because we never can tell whether we will not witness next year. That is our prayer, but it's left for God to accept it. So why not do it as if we may not witness next year?
And now that you've mentioned the spiritual aspect, how do we leverage the spiritual benefits to ensure nation building?
In the first place, we have to go back to exactly what the verse talking about fast says. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Fast, so that you can become more pious than ever. Now, for anybody who wants this nation building, there must be one, the fear of God. When there's no fear of God, nothing goes well. Number two, we must build very well, in a strong way, get it cemented, the relationship between us and our fellow human beings. Of course, irrespective of religion, tribe, or affiliation. So on that note, we must make sure that we cement it better than ever, so that when our relationship is well cemented, then exactly with God, then we are free and we're good to go.
And you know, everything you've mentioned just speaks to the fact that the nation has just concluded the general elections. So what is the advice to winners and losers for sustainable peace and development, considering everything you've just talked about?
The Quran says, Allah exactly chooses the one he wishes. If somebody has just won the game, you take it from God. And if somebody has just lost, take it from God. It is not too late. You start the next time. But not to go and engage young ones in unrest, in riot, and unpeaceful environment which you put them, especially when they begin killings, burning, and engaging in inferno. Whatever, any wrong thing somebody has done, whether before, during, or after Ramadan, we are all questionable before Allah.
And finally, it's no coincidence that Ramadan and the Lenten season are, you know, coming together. Now, the Lenten season is also a period of abstinence for Christians. So what does this tell us as Nigerians?
This tells us as Nigerians that one, we are all created by the same God, omnipotent, omniscience, everything. You don't judge anybody. This is what pains me. One of the Arabic prophets says, "Ahsib nafsaka," judge yourself before you are adjudged. So one, coming almost together, it tells us that we are from the same God. Two, it tells us that we are very close in many things, though with little differences. Where we have differences, that is deliberately done by Allah, so that we can learn from either each other or one another. Then we can relate socially and otherwise. Two, we must not try to bail God out from whatever we think that is wrong. For whoever goes wrong, leave the judgment for him alone.
And just as is the teaching of Ramadan, our diversity is a display of God's majesty.
Exactly.
I want to thank you very much for coming to talk to us about Ramadan. I've been speaking with Dr. Maisuna Yahya, the founder of Al Mustafiya Society in Nigeria. And now we'll join Hingino in Lagos for more on Ramadan. Over to you, Hingino.
Ramadan is a month of sober reflection and increased devotion by Muslim faithful in the pursuit of mercy of Allah. Awal Yusuf Jibo tells us more on that.
The religion of Islam stands firmly on 5 pillars. They include the Kalimat Shahada, declaration of faith, as-Salat, the 5 daily prayers, Zakat, the giving of alms, Sawm, fasting in the holy month of Ramadan, and pilgrimage to the holy lands of Mecca and Medina for those who can afford it. The month of Ramadan consists of 29 to 30 days depending on the lunar cycle. It is a month sacred to all Muslims as they embark on a journey of physical and spiritual cleansing.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. It's a way of balancing up between the spirit and the body and the soil. Allah said, that is the way I have made it for those who before you, that you fast, so that you will be able to link up properly with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
This cleric delves deeper in highlighting the significance of the holy month.
When you have that God consciousness in you, everything, all the problem we are facing in this world, because God consciousness comes with sabr, patience. It comes with charity, being charitable. It comes with mercy.
And some words of advice.
So it's very important we should try as much as possible to share the little we have, no matter how it is, so that we remember that other people need it.
In Ramadan, we learn how to sympathize. We learn how to have mercy in others. We learn how to be patient enough.
The Muslim faithful believe that man is indeed imperfect, and attaining the mercy of Allah is dependent on the sincerity of purpose attached to carrying out His injunctions. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Now, away from Ramadan, Lagos residents have continued to express disappointment at the lingering cash crunch being experienced at various financial institutions, despite CBN's instruction to banks. Larry Bilei, who went round the city, has more on this.
Despite the reintroduction of the old Naira notes into circulation, the queues at the bank's automated teller machines, ATM, have not abated in Lagos, and this is not going down well with Lagosians.
We have been here since 5 o'clock and there's no money. To the extent they even fought here, they have to close down the ATM. So people are just frustrated. Please, government should do something about this.
I have 2 bank accounts. All my efforts to get money since yesterday is fruitless. I'm 71.
Cashless transaction seems to have made a comeback. Commercial drivers confirmed its resurgence in paying for transport fares.
Cash these days is very hard. And people do transfer to, even from that here down to Lekki is 300. Some people will beg you that can they do transfer, and we have no option. We have to accept their transfer.
I got 5,000 using 1.5 to get it in POS stand, and even get the Naira to buy is a problem.
They appeal to government and financial institutions to speedily address the development before it becomes an unwelcome visitor that has refused to leave. In Lagos, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
That's it from here. It's now back to Naja'atu in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Hingino. Former Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, has been found guilty of an organ trafficking plot involving bringing a 21-year-old man to the United Kingdom. Ekweremadu's wife and medical personnel who served as a middleman were also found guilty of the same offense. Ekweremadu, 60, his wife Beatrice, 56, and one doctor, Obinna Obeta, 50, were convicted of conspiring to exploit the man from Lagos for his kidney. Prosecutors told the court that the organ was to be removed and given to the couple's daughter, Sonia, 25. Sonia was, however, cleared of the same charge. While it is lawful under the UK law to donate a kidney, it becomes criminal if there is a reward of money or other material advantage. Meanwhile, the convicts are yet to be sentenced. The federal government is upscaling measures to mop illicit arms in the hands of non-state actors. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, stated this at a multilateral stakeholders meeting organized by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons in Nigeria. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
More than 12 billion rounds of ammunition are manufactured annually, with 857 small and light weapons in circulation globally. 70% are said to be in Africa, and Nigeria is said to have the bulk of these illegal arms. These have amplified criminal activities in different parts of the country. And to halt the proliferation of the illicit weapons, the federal government in 2021 established the Center for Control of Small and Light Weapons in line with the ECOWAS and the United Nations Charter.
The National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons in Nigeria has been working assiduously since inception in 2021 to ensure an illicit arms-free society. The need, therefore, for a comprehensive approach and collective effort cannot be overemphasized, especially on issues concerning regional and cross-border related matters, such as proliferation of illicit small arms and light weapons.
This multilateral meeting is to tackle the proliferation of small and light weapons in the Lake Chad Basin member countries in view of the complex nature of the threat.
We must work together as a region to address the root causes of this terrible problem, including poverty, underdevelopment, and poor governance.
It is therefore imperative that we work together to curb the proliferation of small arms in the Lake Chad Basin region if we must put an end to the senseless and mindless violence of Boko Haram and other violence mongers that are widespread in the region.
The outcome of this platform is expected to mop illicit arms, punish offenders, and ensure strict control of arms in the region. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, troops have arrested 32 members of IPOB and the Eastern Security Network ESN terrorists in Enugu State, recovering arms and permanent voter cards. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was made known during the Defense Media Operations briefing in Abuja.
It's another Defense Media Operations briefing for updates on ongoing armed forces operations across the country within the last 2 weeks. Top is the rescue of 91 kidnapped victims, arrest of 43 Boko Haram terrorists, and the elimination of 28 unrepentant terrorists in the northeast.
Troops conducted cordon and search operations to villages in Igbo, Ize, and Izu, Uzo, North local government areas of Enugu State. During the operations, troops arrested 18 indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network criminals. Troops also recovered 4 serviceable and 2 unserviceable pump-action guns, 11 cartridges, 13 machetes, 3 knives, 161 permanent voters card.
Similarly, 2 kidnappers have been arrested while receiving ransom in Kogi State.
On 12 March 2023, troops arrested 2 suspected kidnappers while attempting to collect ransom for a kidnapped victim at Gedu Beki village in Kogi local government area of Kogi State. Preliminary investigations revealed that the suspect was sent to collect the sum of 2 million naira only.
Within the period under review, 117 illegal refining sites and 152 dugout pits were deactivated by troops of Operation Delta Safe in the Niger Delta. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
It's time to join our Port Harcourt Network Center for more on Nationwide.
Welcome to Port Harcourt. The United Nations is to boost its program collaboration with Cross River State to further promote economic viability of the state. The United Nations Humanitarian Resident Coordinator in Nigeria stated this shortly after a closed-door meeting with the governor-elect, Senator Basi Otu, at Dan Achibong Lodge, Calabar. Maureen Liu Ajung reports.
Cross River State is currently having a number of United Nations agencies, including UNFDA, dealing with reproductive health issues, UNICEF supporting other programs. The United Nations Resident Coordinator in Nigeria congratulated the governor-elect, Senator Basi Otu, and declared United Nations readiness to sustain collaboration with Cross River State and build on existing programs, especially in agriculture and social interventions that will improve the lives of the rural dwellers.
What I again find compelling is that the governor-elect is clearly interested in the social development side of this, but also then that needs to be complemented by serious rural development.
The governor-elect, Senator Basi Otu, lauded the concern of the United Nations for the state and noted that it was the first nation.
On a mission, some programs for our people. We seize this opportunity to have meetings on moving forward. I believe it was a very fruitful meeting, and the collaboration with our development partners, United Nations in particular, is going to be very, very serious in the incoming government.
UN collaboration with Cross River State dates back to in Calabar. Maureen Liu Ajong, NTA News.
The leadership of the People's Democratic Party in Ikwerre local government area of River State has rolled out the drums in celebration of the outcome of the governorship and House of Assembly elections in the state, which gave the party a landslide victory in the 13 wards of the council area. Ijamogweke has the details.
Members of the People's Democratic Party in Ikwerre Council area, led by the council chairman, Samuel Wanosike, were on what they described as victory parade to the 13 wards in the local government area to appreciate the people for their support and electing the candidates of the party into various positions during the March 18 governorship and House of Assembly elections.
We are proud of us a weekend. A true equal son, a true equal man, a true equal leader. The leader that does the road, when he lead, we follow.
We are here representing the governor, and we are saying that you people have done very well, and for appreciating all we have done in the Buta and paying the governor back by electing his candidates.
The government, under the leadership of General Samuel Wanosike, didn't seem necessary to come and say thank you for our people who have actually done their own part. We will not disappoint you people.
The thank you visit to the 13 wards is a reassurance of the people of their loyalty and gratitude on the outcome of the just concluded elections in the state. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
We're done here. Nationwide, we continue with Najaratu in Abuja right after the break. Good evening.
Thanks for a break. It's nice to know you're still watching Nationwide. The Adamawa State Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has directed the Local Government Executive Committee of Yola North to constitute a disciplinary committee to investigate the alleged suspension of the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, by the party's executive of Gwadabuwa Ward in Yola local government area. The secretary of the APC in Adamawa State, Raymond Chidama, in a statement, describes the alleged suspension as unconstitutional, null and void, and warns ward executives in the state to desist from such acts against party leaders like the SGF, who, as a loyal party man, keeps contributing to the success of the APC. The statement adds that appropriate sanctions will be applied after thorough investigation to all those found wanting. The National Council for Women's Societies is urging the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure release of governorship election results of Adamawa State devoid of manipulation. The president of the umbrella body of women in Nigeria, Lami Adamulo, is worried about the inability of collation officer for Furore local government area of Adamawa State to release the results.
As the umbrella body of women in Nigeria, we appeal to the electoral umpire to release the governorship results in Adamawa State to each station that is currently building in Nigerian women.
The women further urge INEC to announce results which only reflect the wish of the people. Next is sports update.
As the Super Eagles get set to face Guinea-Bissau in their Group A encounter of the ongoing 2024 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier Friday at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau, has urged the team to go for the maximum points at stake in the two legs fixture to secure qualification for the nation.
But by the grace of God, if we're able to get these matches, I know we're true to Côte d'Ivoire.
The boys are ready. We have a high spirit, and I think we're ready to give our all come Friday, and also the second leg in Guinea-Bissau.
Meanwhile, reactions have continued to trail Olympic Eagles Wednesday's goalless home draw against the Baby Elephants of Guinea in the first leg of their Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier, decided at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja.
A whole lot of work needs to be done on that team for it to have a chance. Because when you take a critical look at the performance of the Guineans, they are more coordinated, and they have more cohesion, and they were able to freely move the ball.
And in Scrabble, Eta Ogenekaro beat Enoch Nwali to emerge champion of the maiden Ashaft Zadok National Scrabble Championship, concluded Wednesday in Abuja. Ogenekaro had 20 wins and a plus 1,048 cumulative points to outclass Nwali, who had 19 wins and a plus 1,781 cumulative points.
Yeah, I plan to put in my best going forward, the reward of hard work is even more work.
To truly tell us that you are the champion, you must be able to maintain this your winning streak and stay on top. such that tournament after tournament, you remain the champion.
The win moves Ogene Karo to the second spot on the country's Scrabble rating and will be decorated with the prestigious Nigeria Scrabble Federation National Champion Green Jacket during Sunday's awards and gala nights. With sports updates, I am Chukunonso Nwabueze, NTA News.
Sports Update concludes nationwide this Thursday. Thanks for watching. From all of us, Ramadan Kareem.